majority of the time, the people that I trained with, not so much the people that I teach, I don't really know, but like the people that I trained with or the ones that I was like, I looked up to dancing, growing into an adult, trying to achieve my dream, I didn't make it.
Right.
And I always was like, but it's funnier because like our start place, they were way, way, way above me.
Well, I think there is correlation with this in all fields, not necessarily just dance, is if you're talented at something, you're less likely to succeed because you become complacent.
And maybe they're always told that you're good.
Yeah. And so then there's an expectation to be the one booking the jobs. I think it's an easy way to get lazy.
Yeah.
If you spend the first, let's say you're at college for 3 years and you get booked for every job, not a job, but like pick the
out for
shows,
every
and
show or
shows and
whatever.
stuff.
They told you the good one.
Yeah. And then the moment you leave college and then you fail your first audition, I'm sure there's a big drop off. And then the
because they're always used to
instability.
being the success. Yeah. And then as soon as there's a
But if
rejection,
you're used to being rejected,
yeah,
and you still going, then
like
that's the recipe for success. I think.
All the successful ones, like once they finish their training, they maybe tried for a little bit, and when this quiet or nothing's happening or they're getting rejected, they all dropped off within like 2 years.
Right.
Not all, but the the majority. And like, I was never the gifted one. I was never the talented one, but I always kind of knew what I wanted to do. And all I figured out was like, whatever I don't know, ask people.
Yeah.
And I was that person. So like, I'd be like, I'm shit at this. Let me ask someone how I get good at it.
And
let me ask someone what I should do to achieve my dreams. Like, instead of just being like, I'm just going to go with the flow and like be on my morals, I'd find Glenn Bull and I'd be like, yo, how do I become a professional dancer?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, you need to do this, 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 and this.
And
cool.
this is like, that's something that I've definitely discovered in the last couple of years. Is just fucking ask questions. Like, you look like an idiot for a minute, but the reward of asking that stupid question gets you so much further.
So much further. Well, you've just, if they can give you the answer, you've saved yourself so much figuring out time.
Absolutely. There's a quote that kind of comes to mind is, if you're the best in the room, you're in the wrong room.
100%.
And I totally believe in that. And I'm constantly trying to ask people who, in every field that I work in, who's better than me. And then I just ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to sound like an idiot.
Yeah. Like, I didn't work that hard in college because I genuinely hated it. Like, I genuinely hated college. Dude, I fucking hated it. Ballet, contemporary jazz every day. I hated it. I wanted to be a commercial dancer. I wanted to dance for artists. I wanted to do, in my head, what I saw as cool stuff. I hated it. But I knew I had to understand some sort of it to be able to go and get these opportunities. Because you have to have a basic understanding. You don't have to, but it's better to have a basic understanding.
Like dance terminology and all the rest of it.
And then I got a scholarship to Millennium Performing Arts in London, and I left after 6 weeks. And everyone was like, you're an idiot. Like, you're giving away a £36,000 scholarship, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, it's just not for me. I'm spending all this effort and time doing something. Or actually, I wasn't even putting much effort in or time in, but I was meant to be, to do this thing that I don't want to do.
Right.
Like, to go and sing, to go and act. I don't want to be these things. Like, I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, I can remove myself from this environment where I enjoy 10% of it, and I can submerge all my energy and effort into maybe the thing I love. Even if that's only double the amount of time of what I'm doing, what I like. Even if that only makes up 20% of my time. That's more than 10. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I quit college. I fucking moved to London. I was in London, but I moved neither into London. And I hustled, man. I used to stand outside Pineapple and just look through the window and watch the people who were better than me. Watch what was happening. Figure out shit. Like, and then the more I stood there, people would be like, what are you doing here? I see you here all the time. I'd be like, oh, my name's Kane. Nice to meet you. They'd be like, you should take class. And I'd be like, I've got no money. And they go, oh, you can come take class. And I'd be like, well, instead of doing it for just free, like, what if I press play and stop on the music for you?
Right.
Saves you walking back and forth the speaker. I make myself useful.
Absolutely.
Like, I become a credit to that person. Like, I'm like, oh, I can't pay you, but I can pay my way. Earn my,
give you service.
Give you service. And then I started getting free classes, and I was really fortunate that I moved in with one of my bestest people in my life, David Ratcliffe, who was already more established than I was in the dance industry, and he was friends with Cisco, Anthony Kay, all these people who were in the know. So I just was always, like you just said, around people who are better than me.
Yep.
I was always with the people who are like a generation above me. So like all my friends were 5 to 10 years older. You know what I mean? Like, because I was supposed to still be in college. I was meant to still be in second year at college or first year at college.
Oh shit! So you dropped out quite early then.
Yeah. I
Right.
still did I did 3 years
So
training.
how old are you at this point?
19.
Oh shit!
19 when I dropped out.
Right.
And then by the time I was 20, I'd started booking jobs.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? I'd booked a few jobs before that, but like I wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, I'd done a job here and there, but I started working at like 20. And it's down to like busting my ass when I left. Like I had no fucking money. I didn't have anything. I lived on like fucking Weetabix. I used to get the train from where I lived into central London. And I'd get off at Waterloo before they had any gates there.
Yeah.
And I would make sure that I could not have to pay for the train.
Yep.
Because I couldn't afford to, and I'd walk. And if there'd be ticket people, I'd try and run past them.
Yep.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Found a way.
Just to get to Pineapple, just to find a way to make it there. And I'd always be in with people who are way better than me. And I was like, I'm aware that I'm the shit one of the people that I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
That's okay.
Because if I stay around them, I'm going to become the better one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the talented one, but I'm going to work really hard.
This is the thing I think about hard work. Like hard work isn't just how much effort you put in when you're in a class.
You're in the...
It's everything that you do on the outside.
Dude,
and
it's the lifestyle.
It's 100%. It's like being self-employed and running your own business and blah, 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 blah. You know, as a dancer, you're basically running a self-employed business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's how do you communicate with people? You know, what relationships are you building? Like, there's so much more to it. Like, how are you filling in the gaps when you're not taking class?
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you standing outside Pineapple looking through the window and learning, or are you sitting at home watching fucking Netflix?
Yeah. So my theory was always, and especially when I was in LA, because it was so tough. I remember being like, people be like, "Oh, you've got the day off. Like, what are you doing?" I'd be like, "No, I don't." They'd be like, "What are you doing today?" I'd be like, "Going to the
Fucking
gym,
working.
taking 2 classes, going on a hike. I'm gonna go home and stretch." That didn't happen very often, but like, you know, I'm gonna go online and do some research. I'm gonna figure out who's choreographing what jobs. I'm gonna go and get inspired and watch some cool dance videos or music videos. I was always finding a way to put myself in a better position. You know what I mean?
100%.
Or like, I'm gonna go and do some research on what I should wear to an audition.
Yep.
Like, I'm gonna figure out what's popping at the moment, who's on what jobs, what are they good at, why are they on the jobs. Like, there's so much more work that goes into your craft than just the actual work or just the dance.
Oh, 100%. And I think, like, I was talking to a good friend about this recently. She's recently graduated, and she was saying that throughout your whole education life, you're told structure. You're given everything.
You're given everything. I say
then-
this to every student.
And then you come out and
College
you're
is
like,
easy.
yeah, like, education's a fucking piece of piss.
You're told what to do. You have someone making the choice for you every day. It's just whether you go through the choice.
And whether you show up. The only thing, it's like almost becomes a binary option. It's just like, do I show up? Yes or no?
Yeah, and then
that's it.
it's how much effort do you put in when you show
When
up.
you'll show up, 100%. And then now she's out of college. She's like, what the fuck do I do with my time? So I said to her yesterday, fucking book in your calendar now what tomorrow's going to look like. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do fucking yoga, stretch, work out, take a steezy class, practice a bit of fucking choreo, whatever. Like, actually diarize your day. Because
so you know what you're going to
you know what
achieve.
you're doing at what time.
Instead of
and what
waking
you need
up
to
and
work
being like,
on.
so what shall I do today? And then it takes you to midday to make a decision.
And absolutely. And it's like people wait for something to happen to them, and they kind of have this expectation that life will come to them rather than stepping into it and making it happen yourself.
Making it happen.
And it's a fucking jigsaw puzzle, and you got to put that shit together.
Yeah, and you're going to fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, you're going to do things, you're going to make mistakes, it's going to go wrong, it's going to feel like shit sometimes. But like Dory says, just keep swimming.
Just keep
like,
swimming.
Like, for me, as soon as you're static and you start being still and you're not progressing, you're regressing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as static. You're
Yeah.
either moving forwards or backwards. Because if you're static, everyone else might still be swimming. So like when I was in LA, dude, I used to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'd go for a walk in the morning to get some morning cardio in. But it was just neat. I'd just walk in and I'd FaceTime my mum because of the time difference. It would work. And then I'd go to the gym. I'd be in the gym at like 7:30. Like, people didn't take class till 7:30 at night most of the time. Like, dancers don't get up until like fucking midday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have that lifestyle. We're evening kind of people.
Yeah.
But I'd get up at 7:30. I'd be in the gym. I'd hike, and I would have had really, really healthy food before it even hit midday. And I'd probably done my laundry and stuff to make sure what if something comes up in the day, I'm available.
Yeah.
Or I have options.
And that's the hard work.
That's the hard work.
That's the hard work.
Not taking class.
Class is the easy
Class
part.
is the bit you like.
Yeah.
Class is the fun bit. Hard work is doing the shit that maybe you don't want to do. Is doing the shit that you don't like. Is making the choices like, oh, I want a lazy day today. Yeah, cool. That lazy day could determine that someone else is better than you tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all these things play off. And I think people who are talented, not all, but a lot, is like, they're just told you're good.
Mm-hmm.
So from the jump, you're like, oh, well done. You're so good. They're rewarded all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're not chasing anything. There's no goal. Like I was dying to be told I was good.
Yeah.
I was dying to get first place at competition. I was dying to get an opportunity, but I wasn't good enough to.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to
You had
work
to
really
work
hard to
harder.
get the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Whereas when you're talented, and you might have put in the work as a kid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or when you were younger. But like, you know, when it counts is when you're trying to make a career of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the lifestyle of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe you just take your foot off the throttle and you rely on that talent.
Well, this is kind of what I was saying earlier, right? It's like the talented people probably work less hard because it's, again, there's a complacency is put there. So no, I 100% agree. I think
Like even stuff like I've never not had a six pack since I was 21.
right, and
Never.
that takes fucking work.
Never. I'm
Takes
30.
work.
I'm 31. Like I've had 10 years
10 years
of
with
being
six-pack.
solid under 10% body fat.
Yeah,
Like maybe under 12. But like without fail, yeah, I've had water retention. But I know the next day it'll be gone and I'll have
Yeah.
abs if I need it. And people go, oh, you're obsessed. I'm like, no, I'm ready.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Like it did become obsessive for a while, but it's because it was so essential, right? It's
Yeah.
because it became
it's your job,
became a
right?
habit. Yeah, dude. Like
How you
and
look
I
and
was
how you
like,
perform on
I'm gonna make
stages.
sure. Yeah, I didn't want to fucking not eat pizza with everyone when everyone had pizza. I didn't want to not enjoy drinking with everyone when everyone was drinking. But I knew that if an opportunity came, I wasn't gonna let that be the reason I don't get it.
Absolutely. And this is like, I guess this goes into discipline versus motivation. It's like, fuck motivation. Motivation is such a temporary experience.
Yeah.
And you can't rely on motivation.
Cannot rely on
Like,
motivation.
discipline is 99% of success.
I used to have
and the discipline to be able to eat the right foods and keep
dude,
six
on
pack
Christmas
up.
Day.
I go to
my-
the gym on Christmas Day.
I've been to the gym on Christmas Day.
For the last 4 or 5
I mean,
years.
you own a gym, so that does help.
It does make it a bit
It does
better.
make a bit
but
of
even
difference.
before I own a gym, I'd go for a run.
Yeah, dude. Like on Christmas Day, all my family, I do now. I'm older, 100%, and now I have more balance and I understand my body better, and I'm not auditioning every day. I fucking splurge. I had Domino's last night, but I know my body so well now
You
that
know
I
how
know
much you
I know
can.
how much I can have,
Yeah.
and all for the rest of the day, I had spinach and really healthy shit and chicken. Like you know what I mean, it's balanced, and I'd done 8 hours of cardio yesterday, so
Yeah.
I could afford to
You're allowed
have,
to have
of
a
teaching.
pizza.
I could afford to have a pizza.
Absolutely.
It actually did nothing. But like, okay, so being able to do that has come from having so much discipline and doing, figuring out what I can eat and when I can eat it through hard work over the past 10 years. So on Christmas Day, all my family would like drink or they'd have like chocolate and stuff. I would never. I didn't even have I'd have like meat, veg, and like some healthy starch on my Christmas dinner. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing because I think it's about balance and I think it's about fulfilling stuff. You got to fill both cups sometimes.
Yep.
So I've got to fill that like emotional, social side of my life too. And I was very unbalanced.
Gotcha.
I was a really, really good professional dancer, and
But your social
my
life was whack.
me as a human wasn't so great and fulfilled. But I'm not promoting that you should just do one or the other. You want to try and have both. But I think what happens is the majority of the time is people who don't make it is because they're probably doing too much of the
social
having
shit.
fun
Yeah,
side
yeah.
and they're not willing to put in the work.
Absolutely.
Or make the choices as now it's time to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think what you said earlier makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm not obsessed, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like that made it, yeah, I think that was a big click, kind of click moment or whatever. And I think people should definitely take note of that. It's like, even if you haven't got an audition coming up, be audition ready.
Yeah.
At any moment.
Always.
You know.
Like I used to have headshots in the back of my car and CVs without fail. I had an audition outfit in the back of my car, always ready. And if I used it, I clean it and put it back in the car.
Yeah.
I'd have always like,
And
I'd
that's
have,
also like a mental preparation for you. Like it's
Yeah.
like you're also kind of putting it, not like on a spiritual sense, but like you're putting it out into the world that you're ready to take on any audition and anything. And people pick up on that. You know,
Yeah.
like the character that you are and how you constantly portray yourself, people will pick up and buy into.
yeah. Granted, I've been the other end as well. There's been jobs where I've gone hungover to fuck. And I've partied and I've made the mistakes. But I feel like all those mistakes got me on the discipline side and got me on the like, I have to be ready. And it's through trial and error. And what I found was like, maybe I'd be on a job with people who like the party lifestyle. And I'd be like, I want to hang out with these for a little bit. And then I'd live their life, and 2 weeks in, I'd be like, I can't live this life. I can't do this. This isn't how I succeed. Like,
which brings me on to, I suppose, my next point of what like I consider hard work. There's a quote or like an idea that you are an average of the 5 people you hang around with the most, and that's challenging to be around 5 people who promote and make you better, because so many times you're kind of persuaded into going out drinking, having fun, whatever. Oh, do that next week, fucking whatever, procrastinating, whatever. And that's a really enjoyable lifestyle temporarily, but the hard work is to not let yourself get sucked into that and find people who are on your wavelength and on your on the same focus as you are, because there isn't many people out there,
and it's hard to be around people better than you. It's
Yeah.
hard to feel like the shit one.
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's great to feel like the good one. You know, it feels good. It feels good like to be the best in the room. But
It's hard to
how do you
find real
develop from
people
there? Yeah.
that will call you out.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I do like if I'm doing like a work or a job or whatever, I will send my work to people who will rip me apart.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it makes me a better person.
Yeah.
And those are the people that I cherish most in my life, because they're dedicated to me getting better as well, not just themselves.
Yeah.
So find your best 5 people.
Yeah. Richie Richelle Pereira on our podcast a very long time ago, which is very horrific audio, but she once said on there, your vibe is your tribe. And I was like, I like that. That's so
Your
true.
vibe is your tribe. I like that a lot.
And that's why I think I was very lucky by the circle that I ended up in, but it's also I was strong enough to stay in the circles that I was in, where I was willing to just be the shit one all the time until I got to a point where I wasn't.
Do you know what I mean? Like how you treat people will determine so much of your success. You know, and whether you can stay in a tribe that.
Yeah, like I was always like on a dance base. I was either with Cisco, Sean Niles, like Randall, like really established commercial dancers. And then after that, I'd be with John Graham, Marco, Miha, Thomas Simon, Sean Smith, all people that I looked up to. Like we watched on the last episode or the one before of me doing UK stand-up, and I looked terrified because I was with people who were so superior,
much better than you.
so superior to me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
it's being able to put yourself in that situation.
yeah,
You know?
you have to be willing to be shit at something before you can be good, right?
Yeah.
Like every master was once a novice.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And it's also, yeah, like something that I'm also kind of applying, and I've told a few people around me to apply as well, or suggest to apply, is don't be afraid to ask for shit. Like a friend of mine the other day, I was like, right, message all your teachers you're really like good with and see if you can shadow them.
Yeah.
And they all said yes.
Yeah.
So now this person gets loads of shadow work and just gets to take class for free, basically.
Yeah.
No one else is probably going to be asking for that.
No, but when they're on a job and or they're shadowing someone on the job and someone gets injured and they need someone to step in quickly, they'll go,
You're then there.
can you step in and fill this spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. She shouldn't be shadowing. She should be doing the job. Boom, you're in.
You're in.
Like-
Absolutely. And it's doing those small, like, I'm such a believer that success is driven from thousands of decisions. It's never just one big decision. There's no such thing as an overnight success, right? It's like what we were saying, like, how do you look after yourself? What's your mental stance like? Like, are you asking for opportunities left, right, and center? Are you putting yourself in the position to take on opportunities left, right, and center? It's like thousands of micro decisions makes the macro decision of whether or not you'll be successful.
Yeah, 100%. I think.
And then that's in any field. Like,
and-
I don't know how to be successful as a dancer, but I know how to be successful in other
Well,
works of
my
life.
theory is, if you can be successful at something, you can be successful at anything.
Because it's a mindset.
It's the same. You just have to carry across the same work ethic.
Yeah.
You have to have the same drive. It's the same skills that are required. You know, like the amount. If I put in the amount of time that I did to be a professional dancer into anything else, I'm gonna make it
You're going to make it.
within limits. I'm not gonna be fucking an NBA professional player, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, no, because I'm 5'8".
Oh, yeah.
Like
Okay, NBA, sure.
You know, like.